Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, TSCAN Therapeutics Incorporated just filed a Form 8K, and I'm seeing some really promising early data that could change the game for certain blood cancers. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company is sharing positive initial results from a study treating blood cancer. And it looks like their experimental drug is showing great signs of success in patients. So, TSCAN Therapeutics Incorporated, a player in the biotech space, has released some really interesting news today, the 22nd of June 2026. They are reporting on the early stages of their ALLOHA Phase 1 study, which is looking at a treatment called TSC-101. This is for patients with blood cancers who are undergoing a big procedure called allogeneic hematopoietic cell transplantation. Think of it as a stem cell transplant from a donor. What is key here is that these results are from Cohort C, which used a manufacturing process that is ready for the real world, meaning it could be used to make the drug for many patients if it proves successful. They also put out an updated company presentation, which is packed with more details on their work with blood cancers and these study results. Let's dive into the numbers from this study. In this particular group, Cohort C, 19 patients were involved. Now, in any drug trial, especially with something as complex as a manufacturing process, you want to see a high success rate in making the drug itself. SCAN reported about a 90% manufacturing success rate with their commercial ready process, which means they were able to produce the TSC-101 drug for 17 out of those 19 patients. That is a solid start. Out of the 19 patients who started in Cohort C14, actually went ahead with the transplant and received their first dose of TSC-101. This is a crucial step, showing that more than 2/3 of the patients were able to proceed to treatment, and the treatment continued for many of them. 10 out of those 14 patients who got the first dose have now received their planned second dose. One patient even received a third infusion. This means the drug is not only being delivered, but is also being continued for patients who are responding or tolerating it well. Now, let's talk about what they are measuring to see if the drug is working. They are looking at something called chimerism. In simple terms, this means checking how much of the donor's cells are present in the patient's body after the transplant and treatment. They are using a high sensitivity test here. This is where it gets really exciting. 11 out of the 14 patients who received the TSC-101 infusions achieved complete donor chimerism really quickly, within about 3 weeks of their first dose. This means the donor's cells have thoroughly taken over the patient's blood system, plus 2 more patients are close to reaching that same level. This is a very strong indicator that the transplant is successful, and the TSC-101 is doing its job in helping the donor cells engraft and thrive. They even highlighted one patient with a particularly aggressive type of leukemia called TP53, mutated AML. This patient maintained complete donor chimerism for a full 6 months after the transplant. For patients with such challenging conditions, this kind of sustained success is incredibly meaningful. And what about safety? Generally, the TSC-101 infusions were well tolerated. The safety profile is consistent with what they saw in an earlier group. Cohort A and the side effects reported were mostly what you would expect after a stem cell transplant, rather than specific worrying reactions to the drug itself. This is always a critical piece of the puzzle for any new therapy. Looking at the broader picture, these initial data from TSCAN Therapeutics are very encouraging. They are showing not only that they can manufacture their drug consistently, but also that it is helping patients achieve a successful transplant with impressive speed and safety. The high rate of complete donor chimerism is a significant milestone. It suggests that TSC-101 could be a powerful tool in improving outcomes for patients with serious blood cancers undergoing transplantation. The risks they've outlined in their filings typically revolve around the inherent uncertainties of drug development and clinical trials. There is always the possibility that later stage trials might not show the same positive results, or unforeseen safety issues could emerge. Conducting large clinical trials is also incredibly expensive and time consuming. Given the market cap and current price of TSCAN, these early positive results could really set the stage for future growth if they continue to pan out. The company is still considered an emerging growth company, and these kinds of promising clinical data are exactly what investors in this space look for. The biggest opportunity I see is if TSC-101 can consistently demonstrate these high rates of success and improve patient survival and quality of life. It could become a standard of care treatment for a significant patient population. The risk I am watching closely is how well these results translate into larger pivotal trials and regulatory approval. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. Like, comment, subscribe, and join our Discord for more.